remember a time in my life when I didn't know Jesus or follow after him with my whole heart. The first moment I remember giving my life to him was at a VBS in the park when I was 7. I remember thinking at the time that I already knew Jesus, but I wanted to know for certain that I had specifically told him that my life was his. I also got baptized at our church when I was 8. Now, coming from a homeschool family, my big sister Sarah and I did everything together. She was my best friend. Shortly after my baptism, Sarah was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. She had a beautiful faith that touched a lot of people during and even after her journey. When she died in 2020, I wanted to be angry with God because I didn't know how to handle my emotions. But I very quickly realized that I loved God and feared him too much for that. I knew I'd need him, and that rejecting him would only hurt me. I'm so grateful that I've always had him to lean on, to go to for comfort, to find healing in, and to remind me that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit. I've experienced this in my own life, and I know that whatever I'm going through, that he will always be with me. When I turned 12, I felt my eyes open to the world around me and to the fact that I was now responsible for my actions before God. I knew that I would either draw nearer to him or pull away. I found myself relying on him more and asking him to help me to establish a relationship with him. I started journaling and writing my prayers down every night. And now I'm always thinking about him and talking with him. Now we moved to Idaho shortly after my sister passed. Leaving California was pretty easy, it being California and all, but leaving my family and friends behind hurt a lot more than I thought it would. I had moments of feeling so small and alone. My mom would remind me that all we could do was pray. And we did. We prayed for friends and for community. Eventually, my mom enrolled me in a climbing class at Vertical View, where I met my first friends in Idaho. And we're still besties to this day. I've made a few other friends since then, most of whom I still keep in touch with. And I specifically mention this because it's a good reminder to me, and I hope to all of you, that God is and has been and always will be faithful in answering every prayer that you bring to him. When we moved, we packed Sarah's stuffed animals into a trash bag and brought all of her belongings with us. A couple of months ago, we found that mice had destroyed her stuffed animals and some of her other things. And losing those things, even though I knew that it was just stuff, felt like losing her all over again. My mom led me in prayer and asked for healing and comfort for me. God helped me to realize that just because I may never see those things again, and just because they were connected to her memory, didn't mean that I would forget her, even if I never saw those things again. And although it hurt a lot of the time, it brought so much healing too. It's like pouring salt into a wound. It hurts at the time, but it also helps to cleanse the wound of any bacteria that might infect your body. It helps to cleanse the wound. And over the years, my relationship with the Lord has been tested and tried, but it's only been made stronger because of what I've been through. I've had good days and I've had bad days, and I've had days in between. But no matter what kind of day I've had, God has always been there to walk me through it. I've been blessed to have 2 life verses to carry with me. The first one is mine, Joshua 1:9. It says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." I really like this verse because it's God reminding Joshua, as he's told him time and time again, to be strong, to have no fear because he's always with him, that we have nothing to fear because God is always by our side. The The second life verse was Sarah's life verse, Psalm 91:1. And she chose this verse before she had started her battle with cancer, which I find very powerful. It says, "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty." And when I think about this verse, I think about heaven. And I think about walking with God, dwelling in his shelter, and being in his presence as being in the shadow of the Almighty. So when we walk with God on this earth, and we give our lives to him on this earth, heaven is our reward for that, our eternal reward. So God is always with you, even when it doesn't feel like it. Especially then, when you're feeling lost and hurt and alone, God sees you. God knows exactly what you need before you even realize you need it. And you're never lost because God has already found you. Although life hurts sometimes and we feel broken and messy on the inside, God has already begun to heal our hearts. And he will never, ever leave us alone.